A spectacular sight in the sky tonight. These shots of the northern lights captured by Sunshine Village's Aurora camera out in the mountains. Space Weather Canada has issued a major geomagnetic storm warning until Thursday, meaning we could be in for a treat and dazzled with colors the next few nights. Here's what else we're working on. A story behind every poppy.
He was an air gunner and he came back dead in the first trip he ever went on. It always makes you wonder why, you know.
Canadians coast to coast pause to remember the fallen. Plus, missing for decades. A Calgary woman is ID'd in a Las Vegas murder with links to the mob. And Hollywood star Jennifer Lawrence on filming her latest flick in Calgary.
I had a toddler there, so I did a lot of exploring.
From the Saddle Dome to story time, what her son won't let her forget.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Terry Fikowski.
Hello and thank you for joining us. Thousands of Calgarians gather today to pause and remember the men and women who served our country, those who survived and those who didn't make it home. Alicia Fieldberg takes us to some of the services that happened around the city.
On the 11th month, 11th day, and 11th hour, we remember them.
It's important to come here to help honor those who have served and sacrificed for our country.
Serving to protect Canadians and others. 80 years ago, Canada helped liberate the Netherlands. 102-year-old Corporal George Marash remembers Dutch in tears as they stroked the Calgary Highlander symbol on his shoulder.
They said to us, "We are crying because we are so happy. Please remember the boys that didn't survive."
Including Airman William McKnight.
McKnight proved himself as a standout fighter, shooting down 10 enemy aircrafts in just 9 days over the beaches of Dunkirk.
He was offered the chance to go home and serve as a flight instructor, but stayed and was shot down over France in 1941. The 22-year-old's body was never recovered.
Today, we honor those like William McKnight who gave everything for Canada.
Fewer than 4,000 Second World War veterans remain. The oldest in Calgary, 106-year-old Bill Wright, thinks of close friends who were killed.
One guy that played hockey, I was a center ice man. He was my right winger, and he was an air gunner, and he came back dead in the first trip he ever went on. It always makes you wonder why, you know.
Wright also served with the Air Force. When he enlisted in 1940, he expected to be stationed overseas, but instead served 5 years in Manitoba, becoming a sergeant responsible for purchasing for the canteens.
He was colorblind, so he was not allowed to fly, and so that disappointed him, but he still made the choice to stay. I'm proud that he's able to still talk about it and remember and honor.
An important part of paying tribute and ensuring future generations understand the sacrifice.
Until there's nobody left to do it, then there will be people coming out to remember.
Thank you. It means it wasn't for nothing.
Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Calgary.
A cenotaph is an important monument in cities and towns all across Canada, commemorating warriors who died in action. Today, High River unveiled a new one. It's located at the Highwood Centre, and hundreds of people from the community showed up to see it for the first time. Here's Kevin Fleming.
It was wrapped up to hide the detailed stonework until its unveiling. High River now has a new cenotaph in front of the Highwood Centre.
It's a mixture of grey granite and red granite. So we have the eternal flame on top and the poppy, and then a border halfway up that are in the red granite, and over the light grey. It's very impressive.
The project was in the works for 5 years, but Tim Whitford says it really came together in the last 12 months. Veterans Affairs Canada pitched in $25,000, and Legion members, along with the community, raised the rest of the $60,000 cost.
New cenotaphs in Canada are a rarity. Most of them, like I said, have gone back to the First World War, and then maybe in addition for the Second World War in Korea.
But new ones, no, they're very, very rare.
Local cadets were on hand for the ceremony.
We have the 4 people standing guard.
Basically just giving
soldiers,
respect to the fallen soldiers and those who are still serving.
Anita Bowes laid the first wreath in front of the cenotaph in memory of her son Chad Horn, who died while serving in Afghanistan.
There's always a soft spot for all the veterans and the cadets that are coming up through, and the ones that are still fighting, and even the ones that have fought and now they have their own internal battles that they're fighting now, which really gets to me.
The head of the High River Legion says it's a relief to have the cenotaph finished in time for Remembrance Day ceremonies.
It's nice to have it in the rearview mirror, for sure, probably especially for Tim and Michael. It's been a lot of work for them, a lot of sleepless nights, I'm sure. But now that it's over, it's beautiful. It's just beautiful. We're very proud of it, that's for sure.
Kevin Fleming, CTV News, High River.
And a salute from the sky from a cenotaph ceremony in Lethbridge today. The Royal Canadian Air Force's 429 Transport Squadron had a flyby of its C-17 Globemaster. Shortly behind the large aircraft, Jeffrey Brain flew overhead several times in his 1952 Harvard Mk aircraft. In 1944, the city of Lethbridge adopted the squadron, fostering a strong and lasting relationship. The Royal Canadian Air Force marked its 100th anniversary last year. And people gathered at the Alberta legislature for a moving memorial salute this Remembrance Day. A 21-gun salute marked the end of 2 minutes of silence in honor of fallen soldiers who sacrificed it all for the service of their country. People from all walks of life filled the legislative grounds to take in the ceremonial firing of blank artillery rounds. Edmonton is one of 13 places in Canada designated as a saluting station. And if you missed our live coverage of the Remembrance Day service at the Hangar Flight Museum earlier this morning, you can see it in its entirety online. Just go to ctvnews.ca/Calgary. Danielle joins us now. And Danielle, really a calm day for Remembrance Day ceremonies today.
Yeah, we lucked out. The wind held off until about 11 in the morning. And at 11, we were sitting at 5 degrees. So we did okay, especially compared to many other communities across the country. We're going to get cut off from the Chinook pattern for a little bit, at least part of the day tomorrow, which is why we'll wake up to a bit of a wind chill. At 8 a.m. it will feel more like -3, and in the afternoon a high of 7, which is still above normal but not quite the daytime high we had today. Today we got to 12. We'll have increasing cloud cover in the afternoon. Our weather will be completely different for the weekend. I'll show you that coming up.
Thanks, Danielle. Fire crews battled a stubborn fire at a warehouse in the Manchester industrial area tonight. Several 911 calls came in to fire crews about a blaze in the 200 block of 50th Avenue Southeast just before 6 o'clock. They arrived to find heavy smoke and flames coming from the roof and sides of the building. Aerial trucks were brought in to douse the building. Crews were on scene for several hours, putting out the fire and managing hotspots. Officials say the building appeared to be used for storage and say there is no signs of anyone inside at the time. It is now at risk of collapsing and will need to be torn down. What sparked the blaze is also under investigation. It's been nearly 6 decades since a Calgary woman feared dead was last seen in our city. Now Anna Sylvia Just has been identified as a murder victim of a cold case near Las Vegas. She was reported missing in 1966. 2 years later, the 29-year-old suitcase, passport, and bloody clothes were found in the desert near the Vegas suburb of Henderson, where she'd been working as a stenographer. Las Vegas Metro police officers accused union mob boss Tom Hanley of killing her over money she owed him, but no evidence was ever found. In 1970, kids playing in the desert located a shallow grave with human remains, but the body was never identified. Last year, Vegas authorities contacted Calgary investigators with the name of a family member for Just. From there, Just's sister was found and a DNA swab confirmed the remains to be Anna Just. An autopsy showed she died from a depressed fracture to the skull. As for Hanley, he died while in federal prison on an unrelated crime in 1979. Nobody has been charged in Just's murder. Calgary's municipal election was more than 3 weeks ago, but some of the signs still linger. A Calgary driver came upon one of those missed campaign signs when it ended up damaging his vehicle. The city says it's now reviewing its bylaws after more than 1,000 complaints. With more, here's Jordan Canagan.
For weeks, they were everywhere. Campaign signs in Calgary were supposed to be removed within 72 hours of Election Day, but not all disappeared.
Right as I was passing the intersection, there must have been a gust of wind, and a loose sign just flew right up into the car right across me, and this caught me by surprise.
A surprise last week when Patel's Tesla was hit by an election sign whipped up by the wind. Its wooden stakes and screws left scratches on the SUV's front end.
And I think that headlight's what makes it really expensive, but essentially since it hit 3 panels, the estimate went up to a little over $6,000 from a company that deals with Tesla cars.
The city's temporary sign bylaw says the owner of the sign is responsible for damage. Patel says he got the runaround sent from one city department to another to bylaw services with little answer for more than a week. The city says it had more than 1,000 complaints about election signs over the last several months.
We are now receiving 311s about signs that have been cleaned up, so we're taking action on those. Our next step will be to review from a lessons learned perspective the entire process of election signs during the election period and before.
A spokesperson for the Calgary Party says it removed more than 10,000 signs and posters in the 3 days following the election, adding, "We have no idea how one of our signs was missed, nor any idea how it could have been impacted so much by the wind. We will work with the car owner to ensure a successful resolution to this unfortunate incident."
The biggest frustration is that the sign's there. The sign wasn't secured properly. You can see how short the stakes are. You can see a bunch of screws that were put in. There was multiple screws put in there.
Jordan Gannigan, CTV News, Calgary.
It's a new roof, a new requirement to renew your home insurance. That's the case for a frustrated Calgary woman, why some say it could be the new normal going forward.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
A Calgary woman has been given 12 months to replace her roof by her insurance provider. The roof is older in age, but she's never had any problems with it. As Tyler Ribeiro explains, one agency believes this could become more normalized in the industry.
Crystal Tate is eyeing unplanned improvements to her Northwest Valley Ridge home. She says will cost her minimum $15,000.
Well, it's extremely frustrating.
In September, her insurance provider of more than 20 years, Allstate Canada, sent her a letter stating, "Our records indicate that the roof on your home exceeds our current underwriting guidelines. During the next 12 months, we ask that your roof be replaced. This will be required prior to us issuing your next policy renewal."
They haven't looked at the condition of the roof. We've never had any issues whatsoever with the roof. We've never had any leaks.
The wood-shake roof is 25 years old. Some spot repairs were done approximately 10 years ago. Epic Roofing and Exterior recommends homeowners do maintenance on their roof every 3 to 5 years. Yet, Vice President Tyson Toth questions an entire roof replacement in this case.
Insurance always, they're kind of doing a general blanket statement on a roof and not necessarily taking into account the quality of the product.
His company has experienced a surge in business due to hailstorms in the city. According to the Insurance Bureau of Canada, hailstorms in Calgary have taken a toll on the industry. Over $5 billion worth of claims have been made in the past 5 years, and now they are trying to recoup losses.
What you're seeing from the insurance industry in response is more proactive engagement with their policyholders on what proper building maintenance looks like.
Allstate Canada wouldn't speak specifically to Tate's situation, but points to weather-related damage in a statement saying many insurers encourage homeowners to regularly inspect the roof and replace materials nearing the end of their service life to reduce the risk of costly damage. Tate has taken the advice of Insurance Bureau of Canada by exploring different insurance providers.
Shocking to me that an insurance company can dictate when and how we do repairs to our home.
Tyler Barrow, CTV News, Calgary.
People driving the QE2 have another rest stop available between Edmonton and Calgary. Red Deer County recently wrapped up construction along Junction Drive and Highway 42, adding roundabout access and a 5-acre truck parking lot to an area known as Junction 42. The site is just east of Penhold and geared towards commercial vehicle drivers with gas pumps and EV charging stations, parking and restaurants. According to officials, Junction 42 saw roughly 500 vehicles every day last year compared to Gasoline Alley with about 20,000 vehicles a day. Oscar-winning actress Jennifer Lawrence is sharing some of her memories while filming a film in Calgary last year, and the experience was pretty special for her son as well.
I had a toddler there, so I did a lot of exploring. I went to the zoo. I went to the science museum that has that like great outdoor, that crazy slide. And the Saddle Dome was a big part of conversations. But when I wrapped, I always sometimes when I wrap a movie, I get like a little bit of PTSD, just like about it's hard to describe, but like I won't want to look at like pictures from that time for like a few months. But somebody had given my son a book called Good Night Calgary, and every single night he would want me to read and it was like, good night, Saddle Dome, good night. And it was just like the whole thing over and over again.
Lawrence shot Die My Love in and around Calgary last year. The film was released last weekend, and I have seen that book. It's quite cute. Well, people are soaking in the warm weather while it lasts, and according to Danielle, that change could be on the way. Your full forecast is next.
Well, yesterday was exceptionally gusty, with some communities having gusts over 100 kilometers per hour. And, well, because of this flow out of the west, some areas, 6 areas to be exact, broke records for new daytime highs. Brooks got to 18.1 yesterday. Camrose above 14, Jasper as well, 7.8 in high level, and Esther area got up to 15.7. So it was a toasty day, but a gusty day. We had wind gusts today, but it was a lot more reasonable. In the mid-60s for Lethbridge, close to 60 in Pincher Creek. And in Calgary, we had a gust that maxed at 44 kilometers per hour, just over 30 in Medicine Hat. It will be even calmer with regards to the winds tomorrow, which is why temperatures won't be as warm for tomorrow, because we're going to get cut off from that Chinook setup for a little bit. 12 degrees was the high today in the city, 10 in Edmonton, 8 in Regina, 10 in Saskatoon, 12 in Vancouver. So warmer weather in the west, and then even warmer weather in the far, far east. In Atlantic Canada, 16 in Halifax and Fredericton. In the middle, though, Ontario and Quebec, it's been cold and snowy. And hey, that will be our story by the time we get into Friday and the weekend. In fact, we're headed into what will be a longer-term cold stretch. Okay. Here's the Chinook setup on your satellite imagery. You can see that classic look here over Calgary, over parts of the QE2, Highway 2, on and off cloud cover for tomorrow. We may even have that Chinook setup for part of the day as well, because we won't have strong winds, but we'll have some winds at times out of the west. Then Thursday night, here's when things start to change. We may have some spillover with regards to starting off as rainfall closer to the Lethbridge area and Highway 2. Calgary, we may see a little bit Thursday night, but the bulk of it will be Friday. And on Friday, temperatures will dip fast. We have the potential of rain switching over to freezing rain, then snowfall. And in total, at this point, it's looking like 4 centimeters of snow in the city is possible, but I will keep you posted as we get closer to this date. 7 degrees is our high for tomorrow. Calm winds, some cloud cover, but also some sunny breaks. The winds will pick up again out of the west, so we'll get that Chinook set up. 50 kilometer per hour gusts on Thursday. That will get us right up to 14 degrees, and then the system rolls in. Friday, 2 degrees. We'll struggle to get above freezing from Friday this week till Friday next week, so that's that longer-term cold stretch. And a few centimeters possible on Friday of snow, and then that will carry over into Saturday as well.
Okay, we've been warned, but people are looking to soak up the unseasonably warm weather, at least while it lasts. From the river to the fairway, residents are out taking advantage of the conditions. Here's Jacqueline Wilson.
There were birdies in the trees and on the scorecards at Fox Hollow on Tuesday, with 115 golfers enjoying a round.
It's a great way to just have some fun, get together with some friends, and hit a few golf balls late in the season.
Though it's not your typical round right now.
We're in winter golf season right now, which is temporary greens and tees. The conditions out there are as fun as you make it, so it's not real golf anymore, but it's close to, and it's what Calgary gets in November.
Many people also took time in the afternoon to go for a walk along the river.
Just some fresh air, catching up with a friend, then continuing on the day.
like just nice to get outside. I think that the prolonged nice weather has helped with my seasonal depression, which is nice because I feel like I'm more alive now than I usually am at this time.
Calgary hit double digits on Tuesday, much warmer than a normal high of 3 degrees Celsius, according to Environment and Climate Change Canada. It's also been tinder dry. August 7th was the city's last substantial rain. Over the last 3 months, we've received 10% of our normal precipitation. Those warm, dry, and windy conditions didn't help a grass fire Monday night that burned near Deerfoot Trail and 16th Avenue. Environment Canada says wind gusts were up to 60 kilometers per hour at the time. There is a chance of some snow later this week, which is good news for decreasing the fire danger, but bad news for avid golfers.
You never know, if some sun comes out in December, we might open up again.
A golfer can always hope. Jacqueline Wilson, CTV News, Calgary.
But skiers can always hope for snow. Still ahead, 2 teams looking to get their season back on track. The Flames face off against the Blues on the road. Highlights from the game are coming up. The Professional Women's Hockey League is expanding the number of Takeover Tour host cities for its 2025-26 season. Teams will play 16 neutral site regular season games outside the league's current complement of cities. That includes Calgary, Halifax, Hamilton, and Winnipeg in Canada, and then Chicago, Dallas, and Washington, D.C. in the U.S. The tour will also return to Edmonton, Quebec City, Detroit, and Denver. Pre-sales for Takeover Tour tickets begin on November 13th. As Canada marks Remembrance Day, the U.S. recognizes Veterans Day, and tonight a tribute to those who served at the Flames game in St. Louis.
Please welcome the Illinois Army National Guard Honor Guard.
The Blues heading into the game second last in the NHL, the Flames sitting last. St. Louis scored 2 goals in the first period and another in the second. The Flames tried to catch up with 2 goals to follow and put in a good effort, but it just wasn't enough. 3-2 the final for the Blues. Up next, the Flames host the San Jose Sharks at the Dome. All right, well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We leave you with some of the images for some of Calgary's Remembrance Day ceremonies today, and thanks those who serve and continue to serve.
In Flanders fields, the poppies blow. Between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky, the larks, still bravely singing, fly.
Scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields.